If you are a real estate wholesaler and you just have right now a great solid deal in your hands and you're looking to get a cash buyer that's going to take over your contract so that you can sell it, and now you can make 15, 10, whatever amount of money on that deal, then this video is for you. Because I have here my good friend Alex Youngblood, who happens to be hanging around more than I'd like, but hey, we're gonna use him for and he owns the largest Facebook group for real estate investors looking to do wholesaling full time. Check it out, we'll put a link in the description, Wholesaling Houses Full Time on Facebook. And the story is that we had a deal, with my Facebook advertising, we find a deal in a particular area of town, I don't wanna say where it's at. And on this particular deal, we've never been there. I've never been there, so we have to find a buyer. So he was with me last night, and he's a quick start. So he gets things going much faster than I do. And so the next question becomes, okay, I think we're gonna get this property on the contract. How are we gonna find a buyer for this property? And now he went and he sprung into action, and he found the perfect person that has a buyer and is ready just for us to be able to get him this deal.
How fast did we do that?
We did this very fast.
You didn't even ask me to do it.
No,
did you?
I was descaling my coffee maker, and this guy here did some of his magic. So again, first of all, there's a couple variety of different buyers you can get. You can have access to. What he went after specifically is let's walk through what you did.
Why not? Okay. Well, first,
Why don't you explain? Somebody says a quick start. What in the world does that mean? You called me a quick start. Yeah, quick start is...
You just call people quick starts? Or
yes, that's right.
What are you talking about?
There's a test out online called the Colby Index, and the Colby Index measures how you work. And everybody has a different way of working. It's called the Colby A Index. In the Colby A Index, I'm what's called a high fact finder, high follow through. In order for me to do anything, I have to research the crap out of it, and then I have to put things in order and make a checklist, and then finally get going. He is a quick start, which means that if he has an idea, he's off and running, implementing that idea, while I'm still writing my little checklist, okay? So that's what he did yesterday. And so
you were telling me about your Facebook campaign that you were running on a national scale that was doing really, really well.
Right.
And you got a bunch of leads, and the awesome thing is you had your lovely wife actually helping you out with that.
Yes.
And we were talking about the different types of leads that you got, and there's this one lead in particular that was that looked really, really good for you. So we talked about that lead and where it was and what the situation was around it, and there were squatters and all that kind of thing. So that kind of showed that this was a lead that we might want to go after,
right,
or that you guys definitely want to go after. And here's a tip I'm going to give you, actually, okay? One of the best things you can do in real estate is sort, evaluate, and focus. Sort, evaluate, and focus. Sort through the leads, evaluate. Actually, here you go. Sort, evaluate, eliminate, and focus. Sort, evaluate the leads, eliminate everybody that has no value to us whatsoever, and then focus. And that's what you did on that lead.
Right.
Because you got a bunch of leads, you sorted through them, you evaluated them,
right,
you eliminated the ones that make no money, and now you're focused in, honed in on this other one, right? So perfect, that's where we're at. So the next step...
Just to make that in concrete terms, this campaign was actually in Florida, not nationwide. So it was in Florida.
I'm sorry, I meant regional.
Yeah, regional.
Yeah.
So in Florida, we want block houses. We want houses that are made of concrete block.
Yes.
Sometimes we get mobile homes, sometimes we get frame houses. Those are hard to sell.
It's so funny you say that, because in Virginia,
right,
block houses are like, oh, who wants a block house?
Oh, interesting. See, every market has its nuances.
Frame house is like, oh, it's a frame house. Yeah, that's normal every day.
So as we get the leads, we look at the Google Maps right away, and we look at them and we're like, okay, yeah, that's our kind of deal or not kind of deal. So we go after the ones that are our kind of deal. So that's just to give more context around what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
So you've got the perfect recipe here. You've got a seller that wants to sell. It's a house that's a mess. It's a situation where you've got a squatter, and the seller wants to sell, and you got a number out of them, right? Which is awesome, because now we have something to go off of.
Correct.
So while you guys were doing that and telling me about the deal, I was like, okay, you got a number, let me evaluate this number, because I didn't know the area, right?
Right, yeah.
So I might drop a link here or mention that I went to whftleads.com
Right. Okay,
to
yes.
try to see what was going on
Yes.
with this particular lead.
Dropping the links. Go
I
ahead.
did.
Yes.
I went to whftleads.com.
Yes.
I pulled it up without knowing anything about the area.
Right.
And went through, and very important here is you want to make sure that you're just looking in a very general vicinity, like so half a mile out, and then look for the year built. So this one was built in 1959, so I looked for a search from 1940 to 1969 to try to stay within that same comparable region. And then what I do is it hones in on those properties, and you look at the most expensive properties that sold. So a mistake that a lot of people do is they look at the most expensive property and they're like, oh, that's a comp. It might tell me what I might sell it for, but what's really hiding in that comp is what you need to buy the property for. So what you do is you look at that high price, and then you look at the previous sale of what the property sold for beforehand. So in this situation, it was like $65,000 or something like that. And by looking at that, we know we've got a number here of what we could potentially sell it for.
So just to clarify,
go ahead.
if you look at a comp and you're trying to comp a property and you see that the property sold for 140 as an example, then one thing to do is to look at that property and see when was the last time it sold. Because if the last time it sold before the 140 was 6 months ago, 8 months ago, then that tells you that, oh, somebody bought it and flipped it and rehabbed it.
That's a winner.
Now you know the price that they bought it at, which now you know what price you need to buy it at yourself.
Exactly.
Right.
So
I'm like your translator.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
You are like my translator. Am I not clear?
You're clear, but I always like to translate to make sure I understand what you're saying.
Oh, okay, that's good. Okay.
That's a good answer, right? Yeah,
yes.
So go ahead.
So, once we've established that, now we can look at that particular transaction. We can go back and see who that buyer was that actually bought that property. And some people get frozen there because they're like, oh, it's an LLC. I can't skip trace the LLC. I don't know how to find out who it was, right? So what we do is, in whftleads.com, we look and we can see the agent activity, and we can see the agent that actually listed that particular property.
Yes.
Very, very important. So now, sometimes that number will be there for that agent, sometimes they will not. So in this situation, the number was not there. So what I did was I took that address, and even if you don't have a magical site like I'm talking about, you can go to Zillow and look at the address and then look at the listing history, and that agent will pop down, if it was the selling agent, will pop down into the history there, and sometimes that cell phone number will be listed right there. So I identified that while you were descaling your awesome coffee machine.
Yes, that's right.
And sent her a text message. And there we go. Now we have the contact with that particular agent who is with that particular buyer and is just waiting for the details to see if we can't make some money on this.
So the difference is also a couple things. Rather than trying to find the LLC, we went to the agent.
Yes.
Right. So he went in and saw, okay, here's the agent that listed the property after it was rehab. So then now we're going to reach out to that agent and give her an opportunity to make more money.
Yes.
Because then now potentially, if she has that client, she may have other buyers.
Yes.
And so then now we have somebody in that market that is a multiplier. Because if you find one buyer,
mover and a shaker.
Yeah, but if you find one buyer, that's one buyer. But if you find an agent that has multiple investors that she deals with, now you've got like multiple buyers.
Yes.
And also sometimes with the deals, sometimes having an agent in there helps because they're the glue that holds that deal together.
Especially an investor-friendly one, yes.
Right, exactly. Because we might be able now, knowing she's in there, we can ask her for, hey, help us with some boots on the ground.
Absolutely.
Help us with some things like that.
It's very, very strategic. Very good tip.
Yeah, very good tip. So in essence, the couple things is that if you've got a property, the first thing is focus on finding deals first. Find yourself a deal. A lot of people say, hey, I want to find buyers first. But at the end of the day, you need to find a deal because you don't know what neighborhoods your deal is going to come. Once you find a deal, then you figure out, hey, very quickly analyze and say, hey, is this a good deal or not? And then once you do that, though, however, don't, as soon as, now, one thing I do want to mention, when we spoke with this agent, we did not give them the, we didn't give them any information about the property, nothing.
Same area as what
Same
we
area,
said.
right. So then now, once we have the property and the contract, at that point is when we will then reveal all the information to her. So we don't want to be premature about that. We always want to hold, our strongest position is always when we actually have a contract in our hands and we're saying, hey, we got this deal, do you want it or you don't want it? So now once we have that, then at that point, then we'll chat with her. But again, not overthinking. I overthink things. He didn't overthink it. He's like, hey, let me see. Okay, look. Now, I got to give you credit. Not that I don't give you credit, but I got to give you extra credit because I didn't think about that. The fact that you look at the highest comp and you're like, okay, when was it sold recently? And if you saw like it was sold within a very short period of time, then you're like, okay, I know what they bought it for. So then now you understand what you have to buy and everything else.
Very strategic.
That is a very ninja trick. Very ninja trick. You will get a chance to stay at the Cris Chico Airbnb just a few days longer just for that. You get a re-invite just for that.
Awesome.
All right. So we want to make a short video here for you today. We're at a coffee shop. We're going to be walking around. But again, don't overthink this. This is a great way for you to find a buyer. Let me know if this is a tip that will help you in your real estate business. Make a comment, and you might see some other videos here or maybe here. Take a look at those. We got some other really great stuff. And as always, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and that way we'll come back and give you some more juicy stuff.